Okay, so prepare a probability distribution for the experiment. Let x represent the random variable and p represent the probability. I'm tossing 3 coins and I'm noting the number of tails. Now if I toss 3 coins, what's my sample space here? Whoops. Sample space. If I toss 3 coins, what's my sample space? So I'll list the sample space going downward here. So let's say we're tossing 3 coins, we should have 8 outcomes. So let's be systematic about this. Heads, 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 heads. Tails, 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 tails. Heads, heads. Tails, tails. Heads, heads. Tails, tails. And then alternate. Heads, tails, heads, tails. Heads, tails, heads, tails. Heads, tails, heads, tails. And that's a list of all 8 possible outcomes here. Right? That's a list of all 8 possible outcomes. And actually, let me move this here. That's a list of all 8 possible outcomes. Now let's count the number of tails in each of these. The number of tails. Here I have 0 tails. Here I have 1 tail. Here I have 1 tail. Here I have 2 tails. Here's 1, 2, 2, and 3. So I've recorded the number of tails, which is what I was asked to note here. So now let's try to create this probability distribution. X represents the random variable, and the random variable here is the number of tails. And P represents the probability of that value. So I can have no tails. I can have 0 tails. What's the probability that I have 0 tails? Well, only 1 outcome out of the 8 had 0 tails. 1 out of 8. I can have 1 tail. How many? What's the probability that I get 1 tail? Well, 1, 2, 3 outcomes had 1 tail. 3 out of the 8 outcomes had 1 tail. Well, I can have 2 tails. And as you can see, 3 of those outcomes have 2 tails. And I can also have 3 tails. 1 particular outcome out of the 8 had 3 tails. All these probabilities are between 0 and 1. When you add these up, they add up to 1. Here's my probability distribution. Toss 3 coins, note the number of tails, and create that probability distribution.